record from Chandler, Indiana, to Juliet. We need Gangster 26s for the lanes. Gangster 26s, we need all of you. Sponsored by CFN Performance, BB Racing Fuel, Automotive Racing
That's a race. I don't even give a shit if I lose.
Martinsville, construction is in play left lane. John Pope from Chicago, Illinois. Sponsored by Virgina Racing Jets.
All right, last pair of hard tire giving us a freaking show. I don't know what happened on the start. It looked like he stalled and he lost all boost. One thing went, but he caught him right at the very end of the eighth. So, all right, that's over. Hard tire's over. Second round. Now we're gonna get into the second round. 26.
Fuel tank lane.
Gosh.
Happy.
I'll go down and look for a hole.
Nobody stepped.
We're going to have to back them up more so we can clean this up. No, it don't matter. The track's got to get clean regardless.
I don't know, but you don't want to. Oh, whoa.
So Austin horsepower is out. They cannot stop that leak in the matter of a few minutes, I'll have to say. Hate to see him go out like this because like he's a top 3 competitor here at Smartfire. But that's
You suck!
Start your day with a taste of paradise at Pacific Bay. Join us every Saturday and Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a scrumptious breakfast. Don't miss out on our lunch buffet every Tuesday and Friday, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Located at 530 Commonwealth Boulevard, Martinsville, Virginia. Call us at 276-647-8217 to make a reservation. Pacific Bay, where every meal is a celebration.
Listen up, team. We need to make sure customers continue to win at Nelson, even if they're in a collision. So we're gonna need to double up. First, we double the warranty on all new vehicles. Easy. Then, for any new or used vehicles, receive free towing up to 125 miles with no collision deductible at our body shop.
Sounds like a winning combination to me, Coach.
Double up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Double up!
Autos by Nelson.
At Sova Family Medicine Martinsville, our providers, along with their compassionate team, are ready to provide your entire family ages 2 and older with preventative and sick care. There are many services provided such as hypertension, acute illnesses and injuries, annual, school, and sport physicals, diabetes and chronic medical conditions, and so much more. We are now accepting new patients. Our hours are Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sova Family Medicine of Martinsville is located at 110 Commonwealth Boulevard West, Martinsville, Virginia. You can call at 276-666-7328 or visit sovaphysicians.com/primary care for more information.
Think, well, and our tagline for our business is coffee with craftsmanship. And I think that's kind of it for me, is that it's one of those things where, it's not just throwing stuff in a cup. To me, it's just an exciting thing, and something that, it seems to continually change and evolve as well, always reinventing itself and new things. So I think that's a big part of it. And then just loving the taste of it ourselves, I think. helps, that community is a big part for us, is drawing people in, having them sit down, drink, conversations over coffee is just is a big thing. So we offer all the different types of coffee drinks, from brewed coffee to espresso to macchiatos, lattes, mochas. So right now our hours, we open at 6:45 to 10:30, and then we have a break and open back up at 2:30 to 6. Those hours are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Thursday we are closed, and Saturday currently we're open 9 to 1.
I want to welcome you to our absolutely beautiful campus, often referred to as the most beautiful community college campus in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I couldn't agree more. We want to let you know that we measure our success by how well you do here on our campus. Whether you're here for an academic credential, a career study certificate, or what we call an industry recognized credential in IRC, we are actually here to make sure you get that JOB degree. Our success is measured by your economic mobility. So welcome to our family. We are thrilled you're here.
Remember when stores had a little bit of everything? At West Franklin Mercantile in Rocky Mount, we still do things the old-fashioned way. From handmade toys and Carhartt bibs to garden tools and work boots, you'll find something for everyone. We'll even special order just what you need. Visit us at 1380 Franklin Street, open Monday through Friday 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. West Franklin Mercantile, where tradition lives on.
Behind every great wheel is a great set of brakes that ensure you can stop when you need to. Brakes are an essential component on every car, keeping you and your family safe everywhere you go. Are your brakes squealing or grinding, or does the brake pedal vibrate when you press it? It might be time to have your brakes replaced. No matter what parts your car needs, from rotors to calipers and pads, our expert service staff are here to help. Stop in to talk to one of our advisors and have your brakes checked today.
At Autos by Nelson, we value our customers, so we sat them down to get their double take.
I've actually been a customer down here at Nelson's since 2017. I told them the budget that I needed to be around, and they actually worked with me to get me to the payment that I needed. This was the first vehicle that I purchased, brand new with 0 miles on it. Now has 156,000 miles on it. I would definitely recommend anybody coming down here to Nelson's.
Since 2001, Sirloin House has been Eden's hometown spot for juicy steaks and true Southern home cooking. We're serving up breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus a crowd favorite breakfast and lunch buffet. Come dine with us and taste while family and friends keep coming back. For all your dining and catering needs, give us a call at 336-623-7778 at 207 South Van Buren Road in Eden, North Carolina.
Hi, I'm Annette Reynolds at Mountain Falls. Come by and see us. We have our new exotics. This is the Parachute. It has double stitching around it, soft leather, easy to wear. I want to show you a few more of our exotics for the men. We got the Cayman in dark brown and light brown. Got the double stitching, soft leather, handmade. Come by and see us at 1000 Spruce Street from 8 to 4, or give us a call at 276-632-3932.
Chopsticks, Martinsville's largest, nicest restaurant, serving hibachi, sushi, Chinese, and Asian cuisine. Daily lunch specials starting out at $7.49 to $11.25 every day. Drink specials and mouth-watering entrees at Chopsticks in Martinsville. Don't forget about our sushi specials every Monday and Thursday. Dine in or carry out at 632-8898. Chopsticks, located across from Baymont Inn. Start your day with a taste of paradise at Pacific Bay. Join us every Saturday and Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a scrumptious breakfast. Don't miss out on our lunch buffet every Tuesday and Friday, 11 a.m. to
Is that really in the Bible? You live in a world where everyone has an opinion about the Bible. Of what values are your beliefs if they are not clearly found in the pages of your Bible? The question we must ask is, are your opinions and beliefs really found in the Bible?
Well, hello, I'm David Freeman with Is That Really in the Bible? Why would any Christian not believe in keeping the Ten Commandments? Now again, I'm not saying all fit into this category. I'm just saying in the world of churchianity, in the world of religion, believe me, there are a lot of Christians who will tell you the law has been abolished and we're not under the law of God, the Ten Commandments. Just recently, I was reading a forum. It said this, and I quote, it said, "No Christian is under the law of Moses. It ended when Jesus nailed it to the cross and faded away during the life of the apostles." Now, I tell you, I have zero tolerance for people who call themselves Christians and believe they don't have to keep the Ten Commandments. And the reason I say that is, you know, if you were just to say, just ask a logical question. Should a Christian, should a people, should a society, should a Christian nation, or a nation that calls itself Christian, keep the Ten Commandments? Who would pipe up work? And so to come along and say, well, no, we're not under those Ten Commandments. We don't have to keep, they've been abolished, they've been nailed to the cross, doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going through are excuses Christians use for not keeping the Ten Commandments. And they will grab their favorite verse out of the Bible, you know, proof texting, and they'll take, usually it's just one little scripture or several scriptures together, and they will say, you see what that says? That's why I don't have to keep the Ten Commandments. So I'm going through all of them, and here's the next one. Colossians 2 and verse 14 says this, "Blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross." Now, never mind that the Ten Commandments are never referred to as the handwriting of ordinances. It's just not. That's not a reference. That is not a used reference to the Ten Commandments. But this is how a lot of people view this. I'm going to read it how a lot of Christians think. "Blotting out the Ten Commandments that was against us, which was contrary to us, took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross." Now, question, was the commandments given to us for the purpose of being against us? Did God up in his heavenly, rocking chair room or whatever, look down and say, I want to give them some bad commandments. I want to give them some really rotten laws that are contrary and against them and that will really make their lives miserable, Now, again, a lot of people probably think so. A lot of carnal-minded people will say, well, why couldn't God just say, go steal everything you want to steal under the sun? Go commit adultery with every woman you want to. Now, why couldn't God just say, go ahead and do all that? Well, people don't think, that these laws is what governs our lives and makes our life work. All right. So let's just summarize the Exodus 20, the Ten Commandments. And I'm sort of putting these in my own language here to simplify them. But as I go through these, I want to ask, what is contrary and against us with these laws? Number one, trust God only. What's contrary and against us with that? 2, worship God only. How is that contrary or against us? Third commandment, use God's name in a way that honors him. How is that contrary to us and against us? Rest on the Sabbath day, the fourth commandment, and think about God. The Sabbath day is a wonderful day. It's a day that you disconnect yourself. Like an overloaded receptacle. You got all this stuff plugged in. And on the Sabbath, you just yank it out and you disconnect from the world in which you live. And you rest. You rest. How is this contrary or against us? All right, fifth commandment, respect and obey your parents. How is that contrary or against us? 6, protect and respect human life. Contrary? Against us? 7th, be true to your husband or wife. Now, on the other hand, if you're a man whore or a woman whore and, you really don't want to change, you don't want to repent of your sin, and you want to just keep living your life the way you want to live it, then I can see how the law, the seventh commandment, could be contrary and against you. Yeah, I really can understand that. Eighth, do not take what belongs to others. Now, if you're a thief, and that's how you make your living, yeah, I can see how the law of God could be contrary or against you. Do not lie about others, ninth commandment. Now, if you're a pathological liar, you never tell the truth. You can't tell the truth if you wanted to. I can see how that law could be contrary and against you. Be satisfied with what you have. But in general, as I go through this, obviously, if you're living in sin, yeah, I can see how those commandments can be. If you're breaking every one of those 10 commandments, I can see how you might look at those and say, well, boy, they're against everything I want to do. As far as the carnal mind is, the carnal mind wants to do all these things that are against God's will. Now, in Deuteronomy 32 and verse 45, says this, and Moses made an end of speaking all these words to Israel. And he said unto them, set your hearts into all the words which I testify among you this day, which you shall command your children to observe and do. Notice the commandments are about observing and doing. To observe and do all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life. And through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land whether you go over Jordan to possess it. So did Moses look at the law of God as, boy, these things are against us. These things are terrible. They're not for us. They're against us. No. Here is revealed that these commandments, if you do these laws and keep these commandments, it is your life. It gives you life. Now, it doesn't give you eternal life. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is it makes your life work today. And each and every day you get up, if you will abide by the law of God, it will make your life work. And he also mentions it will prolong your days. Now, far from being against us, these commandments, to live long on the land, to prolong your day, doesn't everybody want that? Look at Psalms 40 and verse 8, what David said about the law of God. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. Oh man, if only there were more Christians like that who could say the same. I delight. Man, I tell you, with the stuff I do in evangelism, I've run into more rebellious Christians who want to do away with the law of God than I have Christians who want to keep the law of God. But if there were more Christians who could say, as David said in the Psalms, I delight to do your will. Your law is within my heart. What a better society we would have. What better religion we would have also, instead of the pablum that you get today. Of just believe, just accept, just give your heart to the Lord. We're being fed baby food today from pulpits. They don't have anything to talk about, basically, is what I'm saying. All right, Psalms 119 verse 18. Open thou my eyes that I may behold wondrous things out of your law. Far from being contrary or against us, there are wonderful things within God's law. Psalms 119 and verse 97. Oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Why would he meditate on something that was contrary and against him? It doesn't make any sense, does it? Psalms 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is truth. Notice that. He says your law is truth. Not contrary, not a lie, not against us, but your law is truth. Do you want truth or do you want a lie? Do you want to live a lie? You want to live a lie? I tell you what you'll believe. The law has been abolished. I don't have to keep it. Been nailed to the cross. Yeah, that's a lie. And so many people believe the lie. They believe the lie, hook, line, and sinker, and they have an underlying motive for believing the lie. Oh yeah. Psalms 119 and verse 163, I hate and abhor lying, but thy law do I love. Why would you love something that is contrary and against us? Yeah, good question. Now there is one way the law can be against us. I want to explain that. Here it is, 1 John 3 and verse 4. Whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. In other words, if you break the law, the Ten Commandments, it claims your life. You're a sinner, you have to die. That's, in that sense, the law can be against you. Because if I break it, I deserve death. Now the question is this, what was Jesus' answer to this problem? When I break God's law, I have committed sin. I have sinned. Now, what's the answer? What was Jesus' answer? Well, he died for my sins. By his grace, I can be forgiven. You know, so many people believe that the way Jesus dealt with our sin problem is to abolish the law. And that doesn't even make any sense. Why would you believe that? Why would you believe that? Romans 4 and verse 15, because the law works wrath. Now, how does the law work wrath? Well, if you break it, it claims your life. And then it goes on to say, for where there is no law, there is no transgression. So we're dealing with the concept of, okay, let's just abolish the law. Let's just do away with the law. Here's the problem with this concept. Where there is no law, there is no transgression. You see, if there is no law, you can't be guilty of sin. That's the problem. You can't get a ticket for running a stop sign if there is no stop sign. If you abolish all law, there is no sin. Like I said, you know, the police officer, you got this intersection where people are running through the stop sign, and his solution is cut down the stop sign. Okay, you abolish the law, then no one can get a ticket for running the stop sign. Where there is no law, there is no law breaking. All right. So if there is no law, if there is no sin because there is no law, you don't need forgiveness, do you? In other words, I'm trying to deal with this concept of Christ is the end of the law. The law's been abolished. It's been nailed to the cross. We don't have to. If there is no law, there is no sin. And if there is no sin, you don't need Jesus. You don't need a Savior because there's nothing you can do that's wrong. Because there's no law, there's nothing that you can do that's wrong. Now you see how bizarre, you see how insane this line of thinking is as you carry your mind down this road. In other words, Christ did not die for our law breaking in order to abolish the law that defines what law breaking is. Let me repeat that. Christ did not die for our law breaking in order to abolish the law that defines what law breaking is. Imagine this conversation between God the Father and Jesus. Father says, Son, I want you to go down there and die for their sins. I want you to go down there and die for their law breaking. Now, once you die for their law breaking, I'm going to abolish the law. And the son looks at his father and sort of shakes his head and says, why don't we just abolish the law to begin with? And that way I won't have to die for their law breaking. I won't have to die for their sins. Because where there is no law, there's no law breaking. You see how confused this line of this theology that is out there that says, well, the law's been abolished. You know, the Son would have every right to say, well, you're just going to abolish the law after I die for the sins. Let's just get it over with to begin with. Let's just abolish all law. That way there won't be any sin and I won't have to die. No. Now, as I said earlier, Christ did not die for our law breaking in order to abolish the law that defines what law breaking is. That's not the way it works. Besides, you cannot abolish laws of morality anyway. I mean, that's basically what the Ten Commandments are. They're laws that define what morality is. You can't abolish those. It's like trying to abolish the law of gravity. You know, you got some preacher thumping on his Bible and saying the law of gravity has been abolished. He nailed it to his cross. Okay, you want to test that one out? Go climb you a 10-story building and jump off and see if the law of gravity has been abolished. You'll find out a little too late that it's not been abolished. You see, this is the insanity of this kind of teaching. If there are still, if you still have consequences, in other words, if you commit adultery and there are still consequences, you get an STD, you have to pay child support for the next 18 years because your wife divorced you. All right, you have no respect for your children have no respect for you because you cheated on their mother. All right, if there's still consequences of breaking the law, that tells you what? Can't hear you. It tells you that the law is still in existence. If there are still consequences for law breaking, the law is still in existence. All right, I'm glad we got that over with. I'm glad we finally come to our senses. Okay. All right. You cannot, laws that define what morality is, you can't abolish those things anyway. So you can live in ignorance, as many Christians do, and pretend they've been abolished. Oh yeah, how many times have I heard it? It's been abolished. Law's been abolished. Yeah, okay. Keep living in your ignorance. One day you'll meet Jesus. All right. All right. Colossians 2 and verse 14. Blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. What was this handwriting or ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us? We're going to find out what it was. Okay. All we got to do is skip down to Colossians 2 and verse 20 and we'll find out. Wherefore, if you be dead, with Christ from the rudiments of the world, why as though living in the world are you subject to ordinances? All right, we're going to find out what these ordinances are in just a minute. And all we had to do is just skip down 5 verses to find the meaning of it. But we're going to find out, okay, what these ordinances are. But let me deal with another issue real quickly before we do. Why, small letter C, Christian, are you so eager to find a scripture that says the law's been abolished and I don't have to keep it? Why? Can you answer me that question? Why? You see, if you deal with that reality, honestly, you will find out where your heart is really at. There is always an underlying motive to everything you desire. There is always an underlying motive to theology. Why you want to believe this about God, why you want to believe the law's been abolished. There's always a motive. And if you can get honest enough to admit that, you might one day be able to enter into a real relationship with God. I know you think you got one now, but it's all built on sinking sand. It's not built on a foundation that will stand. I know you say, oh, I got Jesus. Jesus is my foundation. All you've got is a rebellious, in your mind, a rebellious son that came along to do away with his father's commandments. That's not the way it works. That's not the real Jesus of the Bible. Okay. I want to tell you why you are so eager to believe that the law has been abolished. It is your carnal mind. The Word of God describes you to a T. Romans 8 and verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. You know, when I think about it, you have to find those verses. You have no other choice. You have to find those verses that say the law's been abolished. It's been nailed because of how you want to live your life, really. But you have no other choice, and that's sort of a scary thought. But this verse tells us that the way we naturally come into the world, we are at enmity against the law of God. We cannot be subject to the law of God, and that explains our carnality. And until God smites you down and brings you to a conviction of the law of God. And until you surrender to that law, where you have this enmity against, I don't want to keep it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to submit to it, until you come to a point where you hold up your little white flag and say, I surrender all. I surrender my will to your will, and I will do what you tell me to do. Till you come to that, there's not real conversion. There can be no real conversion. The carnal mind is enmity against God. It is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. We're talking about the need for real conversion here. Just because you go to church, just because you can explain all your proof texts and all your verses that say that where you think it says the law's been abolished, been nailed to the cross, been done away with, just because you think you got it all down pat doesn't mean you're converted. The fact that you have enmity against God's law reveals what's really going on in your life. You've never been converted in the first place. Colossians 2 and verse 20, wherefore, if you be dead with Christ from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are you subject to ordinances? Now, what were these ordinances? Here they are. Touch not, taste not, handle not, which are all to perish with the using after the commandments and doctrines of men. Notice that. After the commandments and doctrines of men. We're not talking about the commandments of God. We're not talking about the 10 Commandments. We're talking about the commandments and doctrines of men. This is what the ordinances were. Christ referred to these humanly devised ordinances. Mark 7 and verse 6. He answered and said to them, well, as Isaiah has prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, these people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching, here it is, for doctrines the commandments of men. Here we have connected up Mark 7 and verse 7 with Colossians 2 verse 22, which are all to perish with the using after the commandments and doctrines of men. So we have identified the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, and it's not the 10 Commandments, for pity's sakes. Mark 7 and verse 8, for laying aside the commandments of God, you hold the traditions of men, as the washing of pots and cups and many other such like things you do. You remember the incident with Jesus where it's in Matthew 15 and verse 1, then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. Now this is a direct reference to the oral law of the Jews. This little statement, transgress the tradition of the elders, was a reference to the oral law of the Jews. The oral law of the Jews, first of all, it separated Jew from Gentiles. They were man-made. They were traditions of men. They were ordinances. It was fence building around the law of God, which we are supposed to keep. But they built their oral tradition around the law of God, which defined every nuance of what you could and could not do. Now, when Jesus came on the scene, they had placed their oral tradition, the tradition of the elders, on a par with the 10 Commandments, actually above the 10 Commandments. And Jesus comes along and says, oh, no, these traditions of men, these oral laws, the tradition of the elders, these ordinances are going to have to go. Now, if you want to know what was nailed to the cross, here it is. It was the oral law of the Jews that separated Jew from Gentile. It's just that simple. Mark 7 and verse 9, and he said unto them, full well you reject the commandments of God that you may keep your own traditions. Do we have any small letter C Christians that do this, that reject the commandments of God? Yes, we do. Law's been abolished, been nailed to the cross, been done away with. And again, I have zero tolerance for people who call themselves Christian, who believe they don't have to keep the 10 Commandments. If you ask, should a Christian nation, should a people, should a society keep the 10 Commandments, who in their right mind would say no? Well, I do have an answer to that. Who in their right mind would say no? Only Christians, small letter C, who are just playing church. I'm David Freeman, and that's what's really in your Bible.
Was there something wrong with the 10 Commandments? Were they weak legislation in the first place? Or did they somehow become obsolete with the passage of time? If As some suppose, the time came for the Ten Commandments to be abolished. There must have been a reason for it. Order your free copy of Which of the Ten Commandments Did Jesus Repeal? Order by writing to Church of God, Rocky Mount, 27 Brookledge Lane, Rocky Mount, Virginia, 24151. That's Church of God, Rocky Mount, 27 Brookledge Lane, Rocky Mount, Virginia, 24151. Also, check us out on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.com. If you would like a free DVD recording of this program that you can share with friends and loved ones, write to Church of God, Rocky Mount, 27 Brookledge Lane, Rocky Mount, Virginia, 24151. That's Church of God, Rocky Mount, 27 Brookledge Lane, Rocky Mount, Virginia, 24151. And be sure to mention the title of this program. This program has been paid for by the tithes and offerings of the Church of God, Rocky Mount, and friends of this ministry. If you have been challenged by listening to this program, then consider that a great blessing. You can visit us on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.net. It is the support of people like you that make this ministry possible. If you have been blessed by this understanding given to you today, then consider making a donation by writing to Church of God, Rocky Mount, 27 Brookledge Lane, Rocky Mount, Virginia, 24151. That's Church of God, Rocky Mount, 27 Brookledge Lane, Rocky Mount, Virginia, 24151.
Mark your calendars. Wednesday, March 4th, Fast Track is back. The region's premier trade show, hosted by the Martinsville and Henry County Chamber of Commerce, is bringing over 100 exhibitors from all sectors at 300 Franklin Street on the third floor of the Clock Tower at Commonwealth Center. $2 admission, or you can bring 2 non-perishable food items for donation to local food banks. We're going to be running from 4 to 7 p.m.
Remember when stores had a little bit of everything? At West Franklin Mercantile in Rocky Mount, we still do things the old-fashioned way. From handmade toys and Carhartt bibs to garden tools and work boots, you'll find something for everyone. We'll even special order just what you need. Visit us at 1380 Franklin Street, open Monday through Friday 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. West Franklin Mercantile, where tradition lives on.
When you need help on the road, trust the name that's always there. Harbor Towing and Recovery, located at 6010 Greensboro Road in Ridgeway, Virginia. We're certified, licensed, and insured, ready to serve you any time of day or night. Whether it's tires, brakes, or engine repair, we've got you covered. Call 276-632-2580, and remember, in a roadside emergency, tell the police to call Harbor Towing and Recovery, a name you can trust.
Missing teeth, loose dentures, we have the solution. At Greensboro Dental Associates, we offer advanced tooth replacement options ranging from single tooth replacement to full mouth restoration. We offer affordable financing solutions to fit your lifestyle.
With over 15,000 happy patients and 600 five-star reviews, we have been Greensboro's preferred dental practice since 1970. Call today and find out how we can help you get your smile back.
Greensboro Dental Associates, proudly serving our community for over 50 years. Give us a call so we can help you achieve your best smile.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Christian Hall and you're watching BTW21 News. And everyone, thank you for joining me this evening. First of the day, we're going to talk about an update on an arrest coming from January where a man has now been convicted.
The Henry County
County Sheriff's Office has announced the arrest of a 28-year-old man in connection with a January armed robbery at a local tobacco store. The robbery occurred on Sunday, January 11, 2026, at approximately 10:40 p.m. at the 5 Point Tobacco Store located at 1620 Virginia Avenue in Martinsville. According to authorities, an unidentified male entered the business, displayed a knife, and demanded money from the store clerk before fleeing with an undisclosed amount of cash. On January 13, 2026, the Sheriff's Office released information to the public seeking assistance in identifying the suspect. Following continued investigative efforts by the agency's Criminal Investigations Division, authorities identified Tyson Mishad Bryant Stockton, 28, as the individual believed to be responsible for the robbery. Stockton was arrested on February 25, 2026. He has been charged with robbery under Virginia Code Section 18.2-58 in connection with the January 11th incident. Officials noted that Stockton is the same individual referenced in a media release issued earlier this week regarding a separate abduction and rape investigation. In addition to those previously announced charges, he now faces the additional robbery charge. Stockton remains in custody without bond at the Henry County Adult Detention Center.
And coming up next, we're going to talk about another arrest, but this time it's coming from Eden.
The Eden Police Department is continuing its investigation following a reported sexual assault earlier this week that led to the arrest of a 67-year-old man. According to police, officers received a report on Tuesday, February 24, 2026, regarding an alleged sexual assault. After what authorities described as a thorough investigation, Detective Robbie Deal secured warrants for the arrest of Andrew Sanchez Rico, 67. Rico has been charged with 1 count of second-degree forcible sexual offense, a felony, and 1 count of assault on a female, a misdemeanor. Police said Rico was taken into custody and is being held without bond. He is scheduled to appear in Rockingham County District Court on March 12, 2026. Authorities noted that the investigation remains ongoing and no additional information will be released at this time. Anyone with information related to the incident is urged to contact Detective Robbie Deal or Lieutenant David Steps at 33662397555, available 24 hours, or 3366239-240, extension 3255 between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Individuals wishing to remain anonymous may contact Rockingham County Crime Stoppers at 336-349-9683.
Take our first commercial break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
My name is Jimmy Wright, and I am the manager here at Wright Funeral Service here in Martinsville, Virginia. Over the course of the last 13 years, we've had the pleasure of serving numerous families, and I thank each and every one of you from the bottom of our hearts. Here at Wright Funeral Service, we are deeply committed to taking care of your family in the hardest of times, all while keeping costs affordable. We are always here for you, 24 hours a day, even if it's 3 in the morning. You can reach us at 276-632-2206.
Mark your calendars. Wednesday, March 4th, Fast Track is back. The region's premier trade show, hosted by the Martinsville and Henry County Chamber of Commerce, is bringing over 100 exhibitors from all sectors at 300 Franklin Street on the 3rd floor of the Clock Tower at Commonwealth Center. $2 admission, or you can bring 2 non-perishable food items for donation to local food banks. We're going to be running from 4 to 7 p.m.
Ready to take your IT to the next level? Choose South Atlantic Data Design, where technology meets reliability.
We deliver reliable IT solutions to businesses across Martinsville, Virginia, and surrounding areas in Virginia and North Carolina. Today's fast-paced business world, your IT systems are the backbone of your success. But managing them doesn't have to be a burden. That's where South Atlantic Data Design comes in.
Call us today at 276-618-2058 or visit our website at www.southatlanticdata.com.
You already know we double up at Autos by Nelson, and now we're taking it to the next level. You'll still receive double the warranty on all new vehicles, but now we're offering triple the peace of mind. With free towing up to 125 miles and no collision deductible at our body shop for any new or used vehicle. It's just one more way we're tripling up at Autos by Nelson. Do you know her?
Cunningham Tire is your only local authorized Michelin dealer. If you need Michelin, Uniroyal, or BF Goodwrench tire warranty assistance, stop by Cunningham Tire and we'll be happy to assist you. Now until March 14th, get up to a $100 rebate with the purchase of select sets of hand-cooked tires. Cunningham Tire is now offering day and night roadside tire services. If you need mobile service, give me a call. My name's Jamie, 276-629-1142, and I'll be glad to give you all the details. Cunningham Tire, 2020 Ferrystone Park Highway in Bassett. We keep you rolling.
Martinsville encourages men to take charge of their health starting today. Focus on 4 key areas. Schedule regular checkups, eat a balanced diet, stay active, and support your mental well-being. Small, consistent steps can lead to a longer, healthier life. Whether it's hitting the gym, eating smarter, or seeing your doctor, every action counts. Let Sova help you live your best life.
Welcome to Martinsville Family Dentistry, your local trusted dental experts.
I've been a patient at Martinsville Family Dentistry for over 25 years, and I wouldn't go anywhere else. They're great here. The people are friendly, very helpful. They'll do anything for you. Dr. Milk's taken care of me for decades, and the people here are so friendly and helpful, and I just really suggest you come here.
This is Martinsville Family Dentistry. Smile, you're in good hands.
Welcome back, and everyone, thank you for staying with me. Next, we're taking to Miss Tabitha Martin, Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, to let you know about Fast Track.
So Fast Track is a premier trade show where local or regional businesses and organizations can come and showcase their goods and their services. It also serves as a huge networking. I don't think there's any other event in Martinsville and Henry County that actually brings people together for networking quite like Fast Track. You know, we have several great events, but there's usually some type of entertainment, and it's not solely about networking and making connections and collaborating with one another. So that's one thing that's really exciting about this. It's also can serve as a career fair. So any of our exhibitors that mark that they are hiring, those will be easy to identify. And there's no better way to make an impact with your career search than coming and making a face-to-face connection. So it's been a learning curve, a little overwhelming at times, but really excited about this year. I think there's a lot of pressure because it is such a long-standing event. We're going to be celebrating our 30th year of Fast Track this year. So with having a long-standing event and having everyone so used to how things work, it has been a little bit stressful, but I'm really excited to see it all come together, and I'm really excited for this year's theme. So I'm happy to be a part of it. So we got a couple of things up our sleeves this year. You'll have to come and check it out to know what they are, but we are going with a patriotic theme this year because we are also celebrating our country's 250th anniversary, and we are bridging history and tomorrow. So taking a look at our rich history of this community, but also looking forward to the future and what the growth we have, the potential of growth that we have coming up. Yes, so we're on the 3rd floor of the clock tower currently. You can see it's pretty vacant right now, but this whole area is going to be transformed by the end of the week. Holland's exhibitors are here preparing, and they're doing such a great job. We've used them for a number of years, so they're going to have this place looking really nice within a short period of time. So we're excited to see how it turns out.
And now it's time for your BTW21 Weather Report with Chad Hall.
Thanks for tuning in to BTW21 Weather. I'm Chad Hall, and yes, it's finally Friday, February the 27th, and I hope you're ready for a great weekend. You can see here we're set up at the clock tower here behind me. Again, don't forget Fast Track 2026 is coming next week. You'll be hearing more about that here on our news. Now let's jump into Southside's weather here. About 49 degrees in Boone's Mill, Rocky Mountain Ferrum, 51 degrees in Woolwine as well. Stewart going to be about 49 with Ararat about 48 degrees. Here in Martinsville and Henry County, we're going to be between 52 and 54 degrees today, but the winds, we got about a northeast wind at about 5 miles an hour blowing through, what makes it feel a little bit chilly. Probably should put my coat on, but we're not going to be here very long, so it's not going to be that bad. But good news is, the weekend's going to be beautiful. We'll get to that in just a moment. As we look at overnight, we're going to see temperatures begin to drop all through south side. Here locally, we're going to be about 40 degrees. Ararat going to be about 36 along with Boone's Mill. Rocky Mount going to be 37 with Stewart. And then Woolwine and Ferrum is going to be about 38 degrees. Again, the northeast wind's going to drop down to about 2 miles an hour. Been mostly cloudy off and on most of the day today. We're going to give the day about a 50-50, about a number 5 today. Highs about 54 degrees, low of about 40. Again, partly cloudy skies. We had a 6:52 a.m. sunrise this morning. So we'll jump into our Wright Funeral Home 5-day forecast. Again, I know all of you are going to be glad to see this. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to see 68 degrees Saturday. Sunday, going to be beautiful sunny skies, 73 degrees. We thought there's some clouds going to be pushing in. We thought Saturday was going to be beautiful sunny skies, but we're going to be dealing with a few clouds Saturday. But again, we're going to be 68 degrees, which is going to probably be enough to make us smile to get us outside. Monday, unfortunately, beautiful sunny skies. We're going to drop back down to 40 degrees, and we may see freezing temperatures Monday morning when we wake up at 32. Tuesday, those showers are going to come in again at about 53 degrees. Wednesday, going to be real cloudy with about 67 degrees. That's our Wright Funeral Home 5-day forecast. Again, I'm Chad Hall of BTW21. Thanks for tuning in to our Ashbrook Audiology Weather Report. Again, don't forget we're powered here by Autos by Nelson. Again, everybody have a great weekend. Looks like Saturday and Sunday is going to be a beautiful weekend for us. 68 to 70 degrees for the weekend. Can't ask for much more than that. So everybody have a safe and blessed weekend. I'm Chad Hall. I'll see you Monday.
The most precious and important thing we have in life. An uncorrected or improperly corrected hearing loss negatively affects each and every one of those relationships. Did you know that you have hearing insurance benefits available to you? At Ashbrook Audiology, we are the region's go-to providers for benefits from affordable hearing care, true hearing, and many more. Ashbrook Audiology, where relationships matter, Martinsville and Danville.
Take another quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Life is full of starts and stops. That's why at Rogers Heating and Cooling, we like to keep things moving. Could be a weak air conditioning unit in need of a tune-up, or a clog in your plumbing. Could be a furnace on the outs, or a generator for when the lights go out. Whatever it is, Rogers has a solution for you. And with unbeatable customer service and a variety of financing options, there's no better choice out there to keep your house moving. Rogers Heating and Cooling, the name you know, the service you trust.
For nearly 30 years, Drake Extrusion offers you the personalized service and flexibility of a custom supplier. With research and development based on 2 continents, Drake is on the cutting edge of polypropylene fiber technology. We work daily with polymer suppliers to improve existing products and meet the challenge of new end uses. We not only value our products, but we also value our employees. For more information, email us at info@drakeextrusion.com or give us a call at 276-632-0159.
My name is Patrick Sharp. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Gardner, Barrow & Sharp here in Martinsville. If you've been injured in a serious automobile collision or perhaps a minor injury with a rear end collision, we've been handling personal injury cases in the area for almost 50 years. Give us a call for a free evaluation of your case, 276-638-2455.
Yeah, so usually this team has a habit of being slow in the first half, then picking it up in the second half, as you're seeing. And tonight was great. It was very memorable. It was 6 of those girls last night's here, and they had fun, so I'm happy with it. We'll just keep doing the same things we are doing. We'll come in tomorrow, we'll practice again, try to prepare for whoever we got on Friday. I'm not sure yet. Then, yeah, we got a long bus ride on Friday, about 3 hours to Richmond. So Ashley, she's a very amazing girl. This is her first time ever playing basketball, but she played to help us because we only had 6 people. So she came out all year long. She hasn't scored, but she still comes to every practice. She runs hard. And when she scored, everybody really supports her. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, Ashley really came a long way because I remember when Ashley barely could dribble a ball, and to see that she has the confidence that we've helped instill in her through practice and through like just encouraging her. To see she has the confidence like in the game, that's something that I love as a teammate, to see that she can actually shoot that shot, and we're encouraging her every practice. Hey, every game you have the chance to get in that game, and every game you're gonna have a chance to shoot. So when you get on the court, don't be afraid. We're gonna make sure that you have an open shot to shoot the ball. So I'm glad that she was able to get her shot tonight. I'm hoping that on Friday that she gets her shot, and hopefully on Saturday she can get a shot as well. But I'm just proud of her as a teammate, as a captain. I'm proud that she was able to shoot that shot and make it, because she's been working really hard this whole season. She's one of the girls that came out when it was hard for us to even get people to come to the team. So she's one of the girls that actually was like, you know what, I don't play basketball, but I'm gonna try, because these girls last season. She came out and she's been working hard, and honestly, I'm just proud of her. Honestly, as a teammate, as a captain, I'm really proud of how far she's come, and I'm ready to see how far she's gonna progress.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get basketball at first, but after hitting that shot, I definitely get it now. It feels amazing, especially with the whole crowd was cheering. Oh gosh, that was amazing.
What do you think's next for you? You gonna stay with the basketball and get after it?
I sure hope so, because I don't know if we're gonna have a team next year, but we better, because I really want to play next year too.
Work and just remembering, most of us we've been here before. Most of us have been at through a championship before. A lot of us have been through at least one. So we have to remember, hey, a lot of us have been here before. A lot of these teams that we're playing, they haven't. So we need to work for one, but use our experience and wisdom from just being in multiple championships. And we need to work hard. Honestly, that's what it is. If we don't work hard, it's easy for a team to come back. And that's been our story the whole season, that if we're not working hard, then it's easy for a team to come back, because a lot of these teams that we're playing, when they play us, it's their championship, because we've won championships. We always bring someone's best game out when we're playing them. They always want to play their best game against us because it looks good. So we have to just remember, hey, we've been here before. A lot of teams haven't, and we need to work hard all the way, because the job isn't finished. Like Kobe said, job's not finished. So on Friday, job's not finished. On Saturday, job's not finished till the clock hits 0:00. So. We need to work hard all the way, because the job isn't finished. Like Kobe said, job's not finished. So on Friday, job's not finished. On Saturday, job's not finished till the clock hits 0:00. So.
Job's not finished. Job finished? No, I don't think so.